Open your book to page 251. This lesson is on zero and negative exponents. So if you look at the zero exponent rule on page 251, it says when you have an x to the 0 power, the answer is equal to 1. So when you have 0 exponent, means it's 1. And the reason, the way this came from is you apply the quotient rule when you divide. So let's say if you have x to the 5 over x to the 2, right? So this, you just know this, right? This will equal to x to the 3, right? You subtract, right? And the reason for that is you got x, right? And over x and x, right? And so this cancel out, and that's why you got x to the 3, right? Now if you keep going down, so x to the 4 over x squared, this will be equal to x squared, right? Because the reason for that is there are 4 of them on top, 2 of them on the bottom, and this cancel out. That's why you end up with x squared, right? And so you keep going. If you have x to the 3 over x squared, again, you use a quotient rule, right? 3 minus 2 give you 1, right? So that's you get equal to x. Again, the reason for that is the x3 means you got 3 of them, x squared means you got 2 of them, and the 2 will cancel out. That's why you end up with that, right? But now what happens when you keep going? What happens when you have x squared over x squared? Well, 2 minus 2 give you what? 0, right? So this will give you x to the 0. But what does x equal to 0 mean? Well, if you notice, x squared means x times x squared means x times x. So when you simplify, what does this equal to? 1, right? So that's where this came from. X to the 0 equal to 1 because all the x get cancelled out. And when you cancel, it's not 0. When you cancel things out, it's 1. Okay? So that's where this rule came from. Again, x to the 0 power equal to 1 because all the x get cancelled out, and when you cancel things out, it's 1, not 0, right? So again, when you cancel out, this is 1, right? Okay. So that's where the 0 exponent came from. So if you look at example 1, again, everything is equal to 1 because the exponent is 0 power, okay? But you have to be careful with the example 1D. So let's go to page 251, example 1D. You have to pay attention to 1D because you got 6 times x to the 0 power. So it can go down so you can line things up. So this is equal to 6 times 1 because x to the 0 power is 1. But there's a 6 in front. Okay? And so this will equal to 6. So that's why you want to go down so you can line things up and you can do it step by step. Okay, now let's go back to this one over here. What happens if you keep going? So right now, notice, so over here you got 2 x to the 2 over x to the 2 equal to x0 equal to 1, right? But what happens when you end up with like this? X to the 1 over x2. Again, when you subtract, 1 minus 2 will give you x to the negative 1. So what does the negative 1 power mean? Well, negative 1 power means you got more on the bottom. Okay? Again, if you work it out, right? So this will cancel out, so equal to 1 over x. So negative exponent means that the x is going to get flipped over to the bottom. Again, if you keep going, let's say if you have a x1 over x to the 3. So this will means what? Again, 1 minus 3, this is equal to x to the 1 minus 3, right? Again, quotient rule means you subtract, right? So 1 minus 3, this will equal to x to the negative 2. But what does negative 2 power means? Again, then negative exponent means the variable is going to be on the bottom. It's going to get flipped over. Again, you can see that from here, right? This is same as x over x, and x, right? Again, this will cancel out. So this is equal to 1 over x squared. So you can see the pattern. So negative 2, when you flip it over, the negative exponent is used to flip things over. Right? You can see that. The negative 2, flip it over, becomes like that. So that's what the negative exponent means. Means you use it to flip things over. Okay, so let's go over some more examples. So if you go to example 2a, you got 5 to the negative 1 power. Again, negative in the exponent means you flip things over. So this is going to be equal to 1 over 5. Okay, again, negative exponent means you flip things over. So you go to b, you got 3 to the negative 2 power. So when you flip things over, don't do anything other than flip it over. So don't do any weird things. Okay. So first thing you want to do is going to flip it over to get rid of negative exponent. Again, negative exponent is used to flip things over. So this becomes 1 over 3 squared. Then after that, you do the next step. You work it out. So it'd be 1 over 9. So you can do one step at a time so you don't make careless mistakes. Okay, let's go to C. You have negative 10 to the negative 4 power. Again, first thing you want to do is going to flip it over. So this is equal to 1 over parentheses to the 4 power. Again, all you do is use a negative exponent to flip things over. Everything stays the same. Okay, don't do anything else so you don't make mistakes. So after you flip it over, after you use a negative exponent to flip it over, then you can go and do other stuff. Okay? So negative to the 4th power is positive. 10 to the 4th power will give you the 10,000, and that's your answer. Again, make sure you know the proper technique, because if you don't, you're going to make a lot of careless mistakes. Okay, let's go to D. You have negative 2 parentheses to the negative 5 power. Again, first thing you want to do is to use the negative exponent to flip it over. So this will equal to 1 over negative 2 to the 5 power. Again, only thing I do is use a negative to flip the expression over. That's the only thing I do for now. Before you do anything else. Again, when you try to do more things, it's very easy to make mistakes. So now your next step is work it out. So negative to the 5 power is negative. 2 to the 5 power is 32. And that's your answer. So make sure you go down step by step so you don't make a lot of mistakes. So let's go to E. You have negative 10 to the negative 4 power. Okay. So again, remember exponent is only for what is immediately before it, right? So when you flip it over, the negative stays on the top. Okay. So only this gets flipped to the bottom, so it'd be 10 to the 4. Again, exponent is only for what is immediately before it. So only the 10 gets flipped to the bottom. Okay. And then after that you work it out, so it'd be negative 1 over 10,000. And that's it. So pay close attention to how you flip things over. Okay. So let's continue. Let's go to example 3. So x to the negative 5 power means 1 over x to the 5, and that's it, right? So B, 7 to the negative 2 power, this is equal to 1 over 7 squared, so equal to 1 over 49. Okay, again, do one step at a time. So let's go to C, 3 to the 0, a to the negative 3. So you go down, so 3 to the 0 power is 1, and this means multiply. And a to the negative 3 power means 1 over a to the 3. And so the answer would be 1 over a to the 3. So again, go down step by step, so you don't make careless mistakes. So let's go to D. 6z to the negative 5. Again, exponent is for only what is immediately before that. So the negative 5 power is only for the z. It's not for the 6. So do not flip over the 6. So this will equal to 6 over z to the 5. So do not flip over the 6. Again, exponent is only for the z only. It's only for what is immediately before it. Make sure you pay attention, because if you don't, a lot of you are going to make those mistakes by flipping it wrong. Okay? About half of the class, you're going to make those mistakes. I'm just warning you right now, just from order. About over half of the class is going to flip over the 6 because you guys are not paying attention. Okay? So you guys pay attention so you don't make those mistakes. Okay, let's go to E. You got negative 3, x to the negative 2. Now do not flip over the 3. This is not an exponent, so don't use that negative to flip over. Okay? So the negative 3 stay. This one, the x squared gets flipped to the bottom. And that's your answer. So you need to know when to flip things over and when not to. Okay? Only the negative in the exponent, you use that to flip things over. The negative in front of the number is not an exponent, so do not use that to flip things over. So again, make sure you pay close attention. Now let's go to F. you have negative 3x to the negative 2 power. So again, look at what is immediately before the exponent. It's a parentheses. So that means entire parentheses get flipped over. So this is equal to 1 over negative 3x parentheses squared. And now you go and work it out. So it'll be 1 over, so negative squared is positive, 3 squared is 9, x squared is x squared, and so that's your answer. So again, you got to start to be careful with what you're doing and do it step by step so you don't make mistakes. Okay, let's go to page 254. And let's look at example 4. A, you got 1 over x to the negative 4. Okay, again, remember what I said, right? The negative in the exponent is used to flip things over. But right now it's on the bottom, so when you flip over, it's going to end up where? On the top, right? So this will become x to the 4. Okay, again, negative is used to flip things over to the other side. So if it's on the bottom, when you flip it over, it becomes on the top. And so that would be it. Okay, let's go to B. Yeah, 1 over parentheses, 3w minus 2. Again, negative exponent is to flip things over. So this is equal to 3w squared. Again, you only do one thing at a time. So flip it over, then you can work out the square. So this is equal to 9w squared, and that's it. So make sure you go down, line things up step by step to work it out. Okay, let's go to example 5. 5a, you got a over b to the negative 3 power. Now this one you can do it two ways. You can flip it over first, or you can apply the power rule. Okay, you can do it either way. I would prefer to multiply out first. So I'm gonna apply that. So it'd be a to the negative 3, b to the negative 3. So apply the power rule first. Okay, your next step is you're gonna flip things over. So this is the negative, so you get flipped to the bottom. This one has negative exponent, so you get flipped over to the top. And so that's your answer. Okay. Let's go to B. You have negative x over 2 to the negative 5 power. So again, I'm going to apply each part. So negative to the 5 power is still going to be negative. X to the negative 5 power is going to be x to the negative 5. 2 to the negative 5 power is going to be 2 to the negative 5, right? I can apply this to each part. Then I'm going to worry about flipping. So negative stays, right? It doesn't do anything. This one gets flipped to the bottom. This gets flipped to the top. And now I'm going to work it out. So 2 to the 5 power is 32. So it'd be negative 32 over x to the 5. And that's it. Again, do it step by step so you don't make mistakes. Again, if you're going to do too many things, guarantee you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Okay, let's go to example 6. So part A, you got a to the negative 3, b 4. So again, negative exponent, you need to flip to the bottom. So this will equal to b 4 over a to the 3. Now the b does not get flipped over because it's positive, right? So that's it. So again, whenever it's negative exponent, you flip it over. So let's go to B. You got y to the negative 4, w to the 5, z to the negative 2. So this has negative exponent, so this gets flipped to the bottom. This one is positive, so don't flip. This one gets flipped to the bottom. So again, make sure you don't just do it blindly. Okay? And so this is it for that. Okay, let's go to F. You got negative 5, x to the negative 4, y to the 3. So do not flip over this. This is not an exponent negative. This is a coefficient positive negative. So do not use this to flip. So this one stay. This one has negative exponent. This one get flipped to the bottom. This one stay. This one don't flip. And so this is it. Okay. So again, you got to know when to flip things over. So this is, they want you to do it without a negative exponent. Now there's another type of problem they want you to do. So you have to follow the instruction. Make sure you understand the instruction. So again, this type instruction is no negative exponents. Okay? So again, all this is no negative exponents. Now the next part is no denominator. So on page 256, example 7, A. So you got 1 over y to the 3. So the instruction says you don't want to have any denominator. So it means you need to flip it up. So when you flip it up, the exponent becomes opposite. This becomes y to the negative 3. So again, you're going backward. Again, every time when you flip, positive become negative, negative become positive. And that's how you work with the exponents. So you go to b, you have a to the 3 over b squared. Again, instruction is no denominator, means you need to move this up, right, to get rid of denominator. So when you move up, the exponent become negative, become opposite. Okay, so you're just going backward. Now let's go to c. You got z to the 3 over x. Again, the instruction means the instruction says no denominator. Get rid of denominator. That means you want to move this up. So you get z to the 3, x to the negative 1. Okay. Now let's go to d. You got h to the 5 over k to the negative 4. Again, instruction says get rid of the denominator. So to get rid of denominator, you need to flip things over. So you need to flip this to the top. So when you flip to the top, the sign change. So it's already negative, so when you flip it over, it becomes positive. Okay, so you got to understand the instruction. Okay, so let's go and do some practice.